and welcome to your next science lesson. So today we're going to be thinking about the human impact on the environment. So let's get started. Here's a map of Kent during the Anglo-Saxon period, or the Dark Ages, which we've been learning about this term. What do you notice? Have a look. What towns and cities can you see? I can see Folkestone, I can see Dover and Canterbury, I can see London, but I can't see much in the middle here, but there seems to be some big cities that I know about that are around the coast. Now, what do we know about how the Anglo-Saxons built their settlements? Can you remember? Where did they always build their settlements? Next to woodland, didn't they? They always did put them, well, not always, but they liked to build them next to woodland so that they had access to wood, they had access to, and they make sure it's near water and things like that. Here's a modern map of Kent. What do you notice here? It's very different, isn't it? There are a lot more towns and cities, there are a lot more settlements here. And now, do we build our settlements next to woodland necessarily? Not really. If there's a wood there and we want to build there, we'll just knock it down, won't we? We won't try and preserve the woodland as much. Okay, so how do you think that this has impacted wildlife? Think about the change from the Anglo-Saxon period and those big towns or big cities around the coast, but not a lot inside. Inland. To now, where we've got lots and lots of more settlements. Have a think. How do you think it's impacted wildlife? Do you think it's helped wildlife? Or do you think that we might have hurt wildlife? Now, do you remember that we learned about Mrs. Gren yesterday? And there's 7 things that all living things need to survive. And they must have all these 7 things to be a living thing. Now, we have those. All have those 7 things, which mean that we are living. However, we do need certain conditions to help us to live. Can you think of what conditions we need? What things do we need to stay alive? We need food and water, space to move, grow and have young, air and oxygen, shelter and safety. These are things we all need to be able to carry on living. Habitat. Do you know what a habitat is? It's a place where animals and plants live, where they can find everything they need to stay alive. So that could be as big as an ocean or as small as a rock. What is your habitat? What's yours? Hopefully you'll say a house or a flat. That's where you live. That's our habitat. I want you to think about these questions now. Where do you live? What things live and grow there? How does your habitat keep you safe and sheltered? How does your habitat provide food and water? How does your habitat provide space for you to move and grow? Pause the video and have a think about those questions. Now, some of them might have been really easy to answer, and some of them might have been a bit trickier. For example, this one, how does your habitat provide food and water? So if you're thinking about your immediate habitat, that might be a bit trickier to answer. And that's because humans are really unique, because we can make big changes to our habitats to make sure that we have everything we need. So, for example, we build roads with vehicles so that we can travel everywhere we need to safely and quickly. We pipe fresh, clean water into our homes so that we can drink, we can cook and we can wash. We grow plants for food and farm animals for meat and dairy products, and we have pets to keep us company. So you might have found it hard to think about the question, how does your habitat provide food and water? And that's because we grow food elsewhere, and then we use our roads and vehicles to bring food to different places. We also build houses with heating to protect us from cold weather, or with air conditioning to protect us from the heat. So even small changes to a habitat of a living thing can be dangerous. What dangers to living things can you see in these pictures? Pause the video and have a think. So I can see there's a fire in this forest here, and that could be lots of animals' homes. Here I can see a little rabbit and surrounded by rubbish, which is probably not exactly what they want to be eating. And again, on this beach, lots and lots of rubbish that birds and fish might eat. And here I've got some litter, more litter here. So these are lots of dangers for animals, which will affect their habitat. What about these ones? Have a look at these pictures. And what dangers can you see for living things here? Pause this video and have a think. Okay, so I can see a lawnmower here, which is something that we all do. If you've got a garden anyway, you would cut the grass, but actually there might be lots of animals that live in that grass, mightn't it? I can see some ducks, or is it? Yeah, I think they're ducks, about to cross the road, and what's on the road with them? Cars. Here I can see someone knocking down some trees. Obviously that's going to be lots of people's animals' homes. And here's some more rubbish. I wonder if you thought of any more. Okay, so here it's a long list, you don't have to read it all, but here are some threats to habitats. So we've talked about litter already, we've talked about fire, chemicals as well. So that that go into the water might kill plants and fish. Roads are dangerous. Cutting down trees for new structures can destroy plants and animal homes. Walls and pathways can get in the way of pathways used by animals to get food or water. And then tall grass and flowers are an important habitat. And obviously they'll lose that if that gets cut down. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to explore a local habitat when it's safe to do so. So you might want to talk to who you live with at home and organise going out somewhere. And it might be you can do this survey on your daily walk. It could just be that you look out the window and have a look at your local habitat just outside your house. It's completely up to you. But you are going to explore your local habitat and you're going to make some detailed observations. So in your book, what I want you to do is to draw a map of the habitat that you are going to be looking at. So I want you to draw and label any environmental dangers that you see. So that again, it might be just outside your window, or it might be somewhere that you go to on a walk. It's completely up to you. Just make sure when you go out, you bring your book so you can sketch a map and draw any dangers that you see that could harm animals. Pause this video. You can look out the window now or go on your walk now and complete the task. Obviously, if you're going out, you need to make sure that you're doing it with the grown-up that you live with. Okay, once you've completed your survey, I want you to make a record of the environmental dangers. So I want you to draw a table kind of like this. So I want you to be thinking about what has happened in the environment. What changes to the environment have there been? So for example, it could be a road or a house or a fence or something like that. In the next column, I want you to put what danger is that change to living things. So for example, if it was a wall, the danger to a living thing might be that it's going to cut off their route to find food or water. And then what could be done to help? Okay, so that's your chance to have a think about what could we change. Pause this video and complete your table. Next, what you're going to be doing is you're going to use that table to write a letter to the council. And this letter is going to ask Folkestone Council to take more care to look after and protect wildlife in Folkestone. So I've got an example letter here which we're going to read through now, and then you're going to have a go at writing your own. So this is a formal letter. It's not a casual letter we're writing to a friend, we're writing to somebody important in the council. Now I actually had a look on the Folkestone Council website and I couldn't find the name of somebody who was the head of wildlife, so it was just a department. So we're going to say to whom it may concern, and that's what we say in a letter if we don't know who we're writing to. I've also made sure that we've written the school address at the top. Those are our features of a letter. And I've started with to whom it may concern, always put a comma after that, and then I leave a line. I'm writing to you because I'm concerned about I should have missed a word there, haven't I? I am concerned about the amount of environmental dangers near our school. I should always read your writing back. If I had my pen now, I could edit that, couldn't I? At Mundella Primary School, we care greatly for the wildlife around our school and want to ensure that wildlife thrives in our area. During a recent habitat survey, we found there was very little green spaces in the area around Blackpool Road. This means that many animals will be struggling to survive here. Therefore, we ask that the council invest in providing more parks and small green spaces in the local area. Furthermore, have you considered the amount of traffic in the area? This will be endangering the lives of many living things. Thank you for taking the time to read my letter. Yours sincerely, Miss Handley. Let's have a look at what I've included here. So in green, I've put the features of a letter. So I've got my address here, I've put who I'm writing to, and then at the end, I say thank you for taking the time to read my letter, and I've put yours sincerely, and then said who has written the letter. I've also put some interesting sentence starters. So I've put, I am writing to you because. So I'm explaining why I'm writing the letter. And I put, at Mundella Primary School, during a recent habitat survey, therefore, furthermore. So I'm using interesting sentence starters to engage the reader. I've also included some key vocabulary, which is the blue words. So ensure, wildlife. I could have probably highlighted thrives there as well. So thrives means improve or get better. I've used the word invest. So invest, it means put money into. So we're asking the council to spend money on providing more parks and green spaces in our area. And I've used the word endangering as well, because by not having lots of green spaces, we could be endangering the lives of animals. Okay. It's your turn to write to the council now. So I'd like you to write a formal letter to the council asking them to address some of the dangers you discovered in your survey. So I've got my features of my success criteria here, and I've got some sentence starters here if you'd like some more support. Pause the video now and write your letter. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is read through your letter. Does it contain the features of a letter? Have you got the address? Have you said who you're writing to? Have you said who it's from? Have you got some interesting sentence openers? Have you included some key vocabulary? Well done today. I'll see you in the next lesson.